T-Lig says, don't take this as disrespect, but can Lonzo not talk about anything other than N.W.A? He's been doing it nonstop since 2015. Surely there's more to him. Just so you know, before you comment on that, Lonzo, I would encourage T-Lig to go in the archives, and I can guarantee you in the past 7 days of the videos that we posted, 1 or 2 is about N.W.A. The other 5 are about various topics that we cover on the show, from the crime in the city that we live in to street racing to prostate cancer. Those are literally just a few of the things we discussed in the past 7 days on the channel. So I encourage you to please go to the channel, and you will see that maybe N.W.A is probably not even 20% of the content that we cover on this channel. People tend to like it. And and Lonzo is telling his story. If he let this AI character, whatever, just this BS keep going, that's going to be the story. If Lonzo doesn't clear this stuff up, I hope you understand it's him clearing this stuff up. I don't want to speak to you, Lonzo, but what do you say to that person?
Exactly, Doc. I realized a long time ago, anytime you let something like this go unchallenged, it becomes etched in stone, and you got non-hip hop believers of every and anything they hear. And like I said, I'll find myself arguing with somebody about this same bullshit. So I got to do something to refute, counter it, so that at least there is a record someplace that this shit is bullshit. And I don't know. I don't talk about N.W.A as much as people want me to. Like I said, like Dusty just said, I got a whole other side of Lonzo, far away from N.W.A. But today, I got to take this time to get this shit straight, just on the strength.
Yes, sir. Let's continue with this AI-generated podcast.
The following, to the point where Lonzo was able to...
Let me take it back just 10 seconds.
Rest, as they say, is history. World-class Wreckin Cru quickly developed a following, to the point where Lonzo was able to secure a deal with CBS Records for $100,000. Despite the amazing success of the world-class Wreckin Cru, Dr. Dre was often broke during this era.
Stop.
Lonzo Williams gave...
Look here. This is the part right here that kind of got me a little heated, because $100,000 for a record in 1987 ain't a lot of money. But I know it does sound like a lot of money to a lot of people. And in fact, when I got it at that time, when I got it back in 1987, I thought we was balling out of control. Okay? By the time you pay the lawyer, buy the tape, pay the studio, do whatever else you're doing while you're in the studio recording the album, whatever musicians you got, you might have about $60,000 or $70,000. Fortunately for me, I didn't have a manager. If I'd have had a manager, that at $100,000 would have became $80,000 automatically, and then I still got to pay the same bills of a lawyer, studio time, engineers, the whole 9 yards. We're not talking about some backyard boogie studio on a laptop and somebody going into the bathroom and hollering out a bunch of bullshit. We in top-notch studios making this shit happen. When we finally got our final settlement from after all our expenses, we had about $70,000. Okay. Everybody, I got more. I got more than everybody else did. Why? Because I do, and I did more than everybody else. I own the production company. I own all the equipment, and I was the boss. Okay, and I was a group member. So that's something people forget. I wasn't just a record company. I was a part of the group. So I had multiple shares coming, as they called it in the world of finance. I had multiple streams of income. I was a group member. I was a writer on the song. I was a performer. I was a label owner. I was a production company owner. Hey, I'm sorry, but I had to wear them hats to get where we was going. Nobody else could wear them motherfuckers. I had to act as a manager and not take 20%, so everybody can have a decent amount of money. When we got our money, our final check from CBS, everybody had borrowed advance money from me before we got the check, because I'm the only one got any money, and I know this it covers that too. But it says it in such a fucked up way. It just rubbed me the wrong way. Yes, you got folks that want to buy jewelry and cars and shit, and they don't have no money. So I know we got money coming, and I just sold that receipt book to Columbia. No, it wasn't Columbia.
The University in New York, right? Cornell?
Yeah,
is it Cornell?
Yeah, Cornell University. I saw that receipt book to Cornell University for $5,000 because it had the receipt. It had carbon copies of all the receipts that Dre, Yella, Shakespeare, and even Ice Cube signed during that time. Okay, because I knew if something ever happened to me, that receipt book that had no value to anybody at my house, it would probably end up in a garbage can in a landfill. I'll make a long story short, which is almost too late. When they got their money, they got a small lump sum, maybe 5,000 or 6,000. Shit. The next day at my house, it was like watching the movie Five Heartbeats. Everybody had a new car. I already had a BMW 635. Dre already had the RX-7. Yella pulls up in the 914 Porsche, and Shakespeare pulls up in the 280ZX. Okay, everybody got brand new. They're not brand new cars, but we upped on their vehicles. Okay, now the deal was everybody was going to get I don't know X amount of bucks a month, so they wouldn't spend the money all in one lump sum. But you got youngsters. I think Dre might have been 20, 21. Shit, man, that money might have lasted 4-5 weeks, because as soon as I give them a check for that week, they come back and get it advanced the next week. I mean, the next few days, and it never worked out for them. So they spent their money. Understand this: if you gave, I don't know, somebody 20 years old $15,000 access to $15,000 in a short period of time, they're gonna blow it. Now, I paid them the money. I can't even tell them how to spend it. And that's the part they always blame me for. Why didn't you get all? No. I bought cars and houses, preferably houses, studios, and all kind of other shit with my money. Everybody else's money went to other places like motels and various clinics for various reasons. I didn't have that same problem, so I still had a little bit of money. And even that, after that, I still ended up being cash poor because I had to take care of everybody for a while. But nobody gonna tell you. Nobody gonna tell you about that part because the AI motherfucker wasn't here when I was doing the shit. Go ahead.
True, Dr. Dre was often broke during this era. Lonzo Williams gave him very little, if any, of the 100,000 grand he got from CBS Records, explaining that he was the leader of the group. And Dr. Dre didn't understand what the expenditure running a group like that entailed. Lonzo Williams would loan Dr. Dre money. Lonzo let Dr. Dre drive one of his old cars so he'd have a way to get...
Stop. Let Dr. Dre drive one of my old cars. Let me tell you something about Lonzo. Lonzo been a car enthusiast since he was 15 years old. No bullshit. I've owned over 75 cars personally. I never owned a car lot. I have bought, sold, and traded 75 cars in my life, over 75 cars in my life. I got 2 cars right now. All my cars are in great shape. So I take care of my cars. I like cars. When I bought